Well, hello everyone. I'm back again, but this time I am not doing a motivational Monday. This episode I'm going to call TED Talk Tuesday, just because I am disturbed and angry at the enemy for what he's doing to so many people. And he tried it with me. So I'm going to talk about depression. Very taboo word. People don't like to bring that up, but it's very real. It's very real. You cannot tell someone that who's depressed that, "Oh, get over it." That doesn't work. That does not work. Or you're such a crybaby. You're such an emotional person. That doesn't work when you're depressed. I can remember a very trying time in my life. And I was attending another church, and we had a visiting evangelist at that time. And he preached, and then after the service, he came up to me. And I truly believe, no one can tell me any different, that the Lord sent him to me because he knew that I needed that. He came up to me and he said, "Sister, you have a gun at your head. Your finger is on the trigger. You ready to pull the trigger?" And I started crying because no one knew. Because I was good at putting on the mask. I was good at putting on the facade. I was so good at just smiling and everything's well. Oh, it's great. I'm strong. I got this. All a while, I was broken inside. I was crumbling. I was not thinking about my children. I was not thinking about my church. I was not thinking about my husband, my family, anyone. All I was thinking about was this pain. I had to get rid of this pain that was suffocating me. I didn't even think about the Lord. And I love him so much. He is the reason I'm breathing today. But all I was hearing was the enemy's thoughts. Nobody loves you. Nobody will ever miss you. Go ahead, take your life. And I was believing it. I was believing it to the point of, let's do it. But thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. He sent that evangelist to me on that night. And he prayed with me. And I felt the depression leave me. Again, nobody but my Lord. And today he's my pastor. So I'm so thankful that the Lord sent him at that time to intervene for me. And let me be honest with you. Like I said, it's real. People know how to cover it up. I was one of them. Going through the motions. I was talking to my fellow co-workers. We call ourselves the Fabulous Fourth. And I won't mention their names because I didn't get permission to. And we were talking about depression and suicide and how it's on a rise. And we made a pact with each other that we're going to check in with each other. And we're good about that. We'll look at each other and say, something's not right with more, or something's not right with one of the other ones. I won't mention their name. And we'll check on each other, and we're good about that. Because in my field, in the educational field, you see a lot of that as well, from the faculty all the way down to the students. Because I'm going to talk from the teacher standpoint, it's never enough. You can give your best, and it's always, but how could you do that better? It's like, wait, what? Or You got to get this done within this certain amount of time, and it's like bam, 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 bam. Yes, people think you work from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, but let me tell you, that's a lie from the pits of hell. We do not work from 8 to 3. Way longer than that. I mean, it's the grading of papers at home, it's the lesson plans at home, it's the whatever. And then after you have taught all day, and then you have to come home and you have to take that hat off and be a wife or a mother, and the kids want to eat, the husband want to eat, you got to do your laundry, you got to do all those things, all the things. And sometimes you just want, give me peace, because I've been using my voice all day long. Can I have peace for a moment? But you have to do those things. And then once you get those things, okay, now I got to put back on my teacher hat, because I have lesson plans, I have grading papers, I have to answer emails, I have to answer parents fussing and complaining because of XYZ. Then you have, like I said, deadlines to meet. Then on top of that, your best is never good enough. The parents are on you because you're not the best. You're not good enough. And it's just like, wow. Wow. And we were talking about, and it's like, we need a mental health day to just decompress from all the stressors of education. Not saying that we don't love our job. Anybody that knows me knows I love my babies. They're my students, but I call them my babies. They know I love them. My children, my babies can tell you, Mrs. Moore loved them. Yes, I put on the smile. Everything's going to be all right. We're going to make it. But it is a very stressful job. Same thing as, I'm pretty sure, any career path. It's stressful. So you have that. Then you have the stressors of the rising cost of everything. I mean, a dozen of eggs, $5. Like, are you kidding me? We were joking, family members and I, and said, we need another job just to take care of the rising cost of everything else, because the ends don't meet. So you have that stressor, which weighs on your mind like, oh my gosh, my income is this. How am I going to make it if the mortgage went up, the insurance went up, the groceries went up, the utilities went up, but my income is this amount? What does that do? It, ooh, on your brain, ooh. But I do know God is faithful, and He will bring you out. He will supply. I understand that, and I agree with that. But I'm just giving you different examples. Then you have people losing their job because the job market crashed. So now you have people who are accustomed to a 3-figure income and they don't have that anymore. It's like, how am I going to make it? I will not be able to make it. So I'm saying all that to say all these different stressors come on. And what about if you have, you're going through a divorce, or you're going through the loss of a child, a miscarriage, just family dynamic is all out of whack, if you will. That's a lot for a human mind to comprehend. A lot. To where you can get in that dark place. Like, this is too much for me. I can't handle it. I cannot handle it all. And you're right, you can't. That's why the Bible says, cast all your cares upon Him. Cast it all. We cannot handle it just on our own. We need Jesus. We need Him. every moment, every hour, every second, every day, every. We need him. In order to survive, we need him. But it goes more on just surviving. We need him just period. So with that being said, I am asking you to including myself, let's be sensitive to other people out there. Be careful with our words because you never know what your negative words can do at that moment in that person's life. When they could be at the brink of, I can't take it no more. And here you come with your negative speaking and it's just the pill or just the part that just threw them over. I would not want to live with that. So instead of being negative, let's try to spread some positivity. Let's try to be kind to each other because we don't know the battles that the next person is fighting. They may put on the mask. I did it. I put it on and everyone thought I was okay. Everyone believed that I was okay because I hid it well. He knew. He knew. So let's be sensitive to each other and call. Check up on your family. Check up on your friends. Check up on your co-workers. Check up on everyone that's in your circle. Your pastor, your pastor's wife, your church members, whoever's in your circle, check on them. Are you okay? If not, be the help that they need. Do not be the person that I need help and you stabbing them in the back and making them, here's the edge of the cliff and you just push them over. Instead of, here's the edge of the cliff, give me your hand, let me pull you back. We need each other. We need each other. Let's pull each other out of the darkness. Let's work together to become a better world. Because it's a dark world out there. And you have a lot of people that don't care nothing about no one. But you can be the difference. I had a student of mine when I taught second grade, gave me this gift, and I will never forget it. And it was a little starfish. And behind it was a poem. And I'm going to just give you the gist of it. So it's basically a man walking along the beach and just throwing the starfishes back into the ocean. And another man came up to him and said, you know you're not going to make a difference, right? There's too many of them. And he politely bent down, picked up another one, and threw it in the ocean. And he said, I made a difference in that one, that life. And the card went on to say, you are the teacher that is making a difference in my life. Waterworks. It was such a heartfelt gift. I will never get rid of that gift ever. So let's be a difference maker in someone's life. You don't know who need your kind words, your positivity, your encouragement, your inspiration. We don't know. And hey, I'm one too. I have to be mindful of myself as well. But speaking from a person who has been there. I had, oh my gosh, I was there. I was there. I was broken. But God. But God. I don't want us to be another statistic. I don't want our community, our circle of involvement to be another statistic. Let's try to change that tide by saying, hey, I'll be a difference maker. I'll be kind. You know why? Because kindness doesn't cost you anything. I'm not asking you to go out and give a person $100. I'm just asking us to just be kind. Just be kind. Kindness will go a long way because depression is real. And yes, it's a taboo word. Nobody wants to talk about it. Just let's not talk about it. And it's going to go away. It will not go away. It is very real. We have to be a part of the change. You and I, we have to be about helping to change the tide. So, with that being said, I am going to be doing some internal work with myself, taming my tongue to make sure that I speak positive into someone's life and not be a negative Nancy. Not saying that if there's a Nancy out there, I'm speaking to you. I'm just using the cliche. Let's go out there and be positive. Spread kindness. I had a saying in my class, throw kindness in the air like it's confetti. Just throw it all over the place. Just throw it all. Be a bucket filler. You can tell I'm an educator. Fill someone's bucket up. Don't be a bucket dipper where you tearing them down. Fill their bucket up. Make them smile. You don't know what you would do in that person's life. Again, this was just my TED Talk Tuesday because it's just on me. It's just on me really bad. I am thankful that someone was able to come to my rescue, or I would not be here to tell you my story. Looking in my life, there were always situations that would get me down. And because I never dealt with the spirit of depression, it would come back. And it seemed like it would come back worse than the time before. And all it took was just a person or people saying, you're not this, you that, you this, you that, and just ugly. And thinking because she's strong, she can handle that. All the while, it was like a glass shattered into pieces. But the Lord, with his tender love and tender mercy, not today, Satan. Not today. So, again, let's go be kind. Let's be kind. We see too much in the news. Too much. That's it in a nutshell. So, with my heartfelt, everything inside of me is saying, let's help someone. So with that being said, let's do everything in our power to pull someone away from the cliff and not push them over. We have to do better. We have to do better. Let's help them. let's help. Let us be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Someone is dependent on you today, just like I was dependent on someone. Thank you, Lord, that he answered the call, that he was sensitive enough to know I needed help. Let's just be kind. Thank you for your time.